How's it going, guys? Welcome to another video of our build breakdown series. Today we're going to be taking a look at my Traxxas Maxx V2. It's actually a V1 converted to a V2, but you know, neither here nor there. I picked this up on Facebook Marketplace for like 150 bucks. As a roller V1 with the Y-Max kit. I wanted to build one to my liking, and it made more sense just to pick up a used one and then build it to where I wanted it to be, as opposed to buying a brand new one and then taking a bunch of brand new parts off of it and starting fresh. So right off the bat, we've got Redcat Kaiju tires. I love them. They've been great. They've been super durable. I've bashed this thing a ton, and they've never, I haven't had a single one come unglued or tear or anything. And they're unbelted, but they've been great. Tons of air control. I don't know. They work great. Love them. I can't kill them, honestly. Like, I kind of wanted to get some fresh wheels and tires, but they won't die, so I've just kind of accepted that they're staying on it forever. So I've got the green and blue colorway body for the Maxx V2. All my trucks ended up being green, so I had to go with the theme and keep it going. So next up, we'll pop this body off. Let's see, we'll go with, I've got the light kit. Everything needs a light kit. It looks sharp, love it. Just a little nice touch. So I've got a bunch of little things. Like I said earlier, got the Y-Max kit. I went with the green kit. Actually, the previous person I bought it from went with the green kit. So I went ahead and kept the theme going. I've got the green body GTRs with blue aluminum collars, just to add a little bit of, you know, color into them and break it up a bit. I have the aluminum shock caps, because the stock plastic ones tend to break. They just don't really last too long. I've got the green tubes links, little extra durability there. I am running the pin kit with the aluminum caps. You can see them here. I don't know. So they've got the caps there, up here, in the rear as well. That's just a nice bit of insurance, since the stock pins tend to bend and you don't want to have to deal with that. These are more durable, and the aluminum caps are a little, I don't know, they look nicer, and it's better than the plastic cap option. But they all work fine. It is what it is. But yeah, I am running a Treal bell crank up in here. It's amazing. The steering stock is terrible. The servo saver takes up all of your slack in or all of your, you know, steering feel, and literally, like, this steering is just effortless now. Like, I can just flick it back and forth, and that was one of the biggest changes I did. That paired with the IP67 servo in here, it's amazing. The steering completely transformed how the car drove, and it's worlds better now. That would be the first mod I would recommend to anybody, is aluminum bell crank and a upgraded servo. This Treal bell crank is adjustable, which is nice, because you can kind of fine tune it to exactly where you want it to be, and that's always a nice perk to be able to, you know, have a little bit more adjustment. I am running the Hot Racing servo mount, because these have a large servo from the factory, and you have to run this adapter to put a standard size servo in there. I'll add some more detailed clips in here, right here. so you can see everything I'm talking about a little bit better. I am running the, I don't think you're gonna be able to see them super well unless I pop the wheels off, but I am running the Treal, Treal 10mm extended hubs, the 17mm conversion. Actually, no, sorry, Vitavon, with the caps. That's what made me remember it. But yeah, they're 10mm extended hubs, front and rear. Gives it a nice, wider track width. Helps it stay a little more planted, and that was another thing that helped the handling a lot. So I don't know, I'll put some clips in there, but you can kind of see them there. Those feel great. That was a nice thing. Everything I've done steering wise has made this thing a completely different vehicle versus when I first picked it up. And I definitely recommend taking care of the steering first because it's one of the weak points. So on the motor and ESC, I am running the stock shrouds, but I'm running ProTek fans in them. They're some ProTek high-speed fans, and they move a lot of air. I never have temp issues with this thing. It's been super, super cool. Every time I finish a run, whatever, everything's in great shape, and I would highly recommend those. And I wanted to keep the stock shrouds because they're really nice shrouds. I didn't want to have to give that up, but they drop right in. It was the 35 by 35 by 10, I believe. But if you check the description of the video, it'll have a full list. But yeah, that was a nice upgrade to help keep everything cooler. When I did the V1 to V2 conversion, all you have to do is the chassis pan, the drive shaft, and then a body. And I can put those part numbers there if you're looking to do a V1 to V2 conversion. It's super simple. It was very minimal effort, and I mostly did it because I like the bodies of the V2s better. When you go to a V2, it kind of negates the wide max kit because you've made it wider and then now you're making it longer. So now it's kind of back to the same, dimensions that it started off, which is why I went with extended hubs to kind of bring that a little wider and make up for it being longer. So overall, it's just a bigger footprint. I have a aluminum steering servo horn, which I forgot to mention. That's also something you want to do. The plastic ones bend and flex so much, and that's just a very frustrating piece to have because your steering feels even more numb on top of the stock servo saver and everything. But yeah, so I went with pretty conservative diff weight. My center diff is 20 million, but the front and rears are conservative. I'm at 100,000 front and 200 rear. A lot of people put way thicker in these when they're bashing them. I wanted the front and rear diffs to have a little bit of leeway and then the center diff to be basically locked up. And it drives great like that. It handles awesome, and it still has the good air control. It'll pop a wheelie when you want it to, but it's not popping a wheelie so much that you can't control it at all, which is kind of what I was going for with it. I'm running VG Racing springs, and they've been excellent. I'm running M2C shock pistons, front and rear, and then I'm running 80 weight front, 90 weight rear shock oil. It's been good. I still get some chassis slap. However, this setup compared to stock is worlds better. The next step I'm going to take is I'm going to switch to the Sledge rear shocks and Sledge rear VG springs to get some more travel and lift out of that. It's perfectly fine on like dirt and whatnot, but when you're at like a concrete skate park, it gets really bad chassis slap no matter how high you raise the rear collars. Even with stiffer springs, thick weight oil, the M2C pistons, these trucks just always, for whatever reason, tend to get chassis slap. And you want some chassis slap, however, you don't want a ton because then you're going to start cracking things. So I'm pretty close to getting it where I want it, but I think the Sledge rear shocks will really seal the deal on that one. But I will put an update out once I do those, and we'll do some testing with that, comparing it to how this one feels with the stock shocks with the M2C pistons and VG springs. But this truck has been super, super stout. I I've put it through hell and back, and it just takes it. I mean, I've had one part failure, and that was because I had a screw back out and the knuckle came loose. I put the screw back in and was back to, you know, driving the truck within 5 minutes. And aside from that, it's been really, really good. I had one other issue. The rear or front bearing of the motor failed, but I put a new one in and it feels fine now. I'm not sure why it failed. It was a brand new motor. I've only had it for like 2 months. And usually it's the ESCs that go first, not the motors, but I don't know. It is what it is. I'll probably do like a Max 62 eventually, but I'm going to ride this out till it dies. But yeah, I mean, mechanically, it's been great to me. It's taken a lot of abuse, and then, you know, I can't really fault it for any of the little issues it's had, but I recently went through and I replaced all the bearings and serviced the differentials and freshened everything up a bit just to get it up to par with the abuse I'm putting it through. I don't want to keep, you know, thrashing it and not take care of it, because you're going to have a bad day then. But yeah, this is one of my favorite trucks just because it just kind of does it all. It's a great basher. It's fun to drive around the track still. You know, it's fun on pavement. You can pop wheelies and ride them out all the way down a parking lot. And, you know, it's a good truck. It's a good overall, well-rounded truck. Each truck kind of has like its, you know, strengths and weaknesses. And this truck just kind of sits in the middle of everything. It's not a hero at anything, but it's not, you know, struggling at anything. So overall, it just kind of works, and that's my favorite part about it. But yeah, I'll add some clips of it bashing in here, and I'll give you guys some close-ups of the steering setups and part numbers and everything for what I'm running. So if you want to, you know, copy some of the stuff done to this, it'll all be in the description. And if you have any questions at all, definitely ask, and I'll do my best to answer it. So I hope you enjoyed.